Oh, it's live, House.
The following contest scheduled for one fall.
Bloody hell, you want to hitch yourself to this caboose? You're in for a bumpy ride.
I hate your hat. I hate your t-shirts. I hate your wristbands. I hate your shoes. I hate your music. I hate the C Nation.
And then you want to walk back in here and call this place your home? This is not your home. This is my home.
Well, you don't know who you're dealing with. You are dealing with the best in the world.
You get what you have earned, and what you have earned is nothing.
This ain't no disco. Ain't no country club either. This is the 3 Count Thursday podcast. So let's go, baby.
Tell him to say it to my face. Say it to my face, Bill Goldberg.
Hello, everyone. 3 Count Thursday. We are live. It is June the 5th, 2025. We hope you are doing well wherever you are. Make sure you are following us on all of our social media. We're at 3 Count Thursday across the board. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Blue Sky, TikTok, Twitter. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, favorite, follow, comment. Tell your friends about everything 3CT related. You can get all of our information on all of our social medias in the link trees as well. You can also grab our merchandise over at the T Public store. We have a couple of new offerings this week. We have a Attitude Era inspired 3CT shirt. We also have 2 different versions of the Squishy Pretzels shirt. So if you don't know what that is, first off, shame on you, because you did not listen to us last week when it was Ryan and I. So make sure you go back and check that out to understand what I mean by Squishy Pretzels, and then go over there and buy the shirt. We would certainly appreciate that support as always. So make sure you go over there, grab that. Again, subscribe, like, follow everywhere. You can also leave us a voicemail at any time. You can call 717-473-7833. That line is always open. So no matter when you have the thought to reach out to us, feel free to do so. We'll get it aired on our one of our next shows coming up. So again, 717-473-7833. It is also in the episode description on YouTube and in the podcast platforms. Devin checking in with us as well. What's going on, Devin? Yeah, like and share if you're following along with us live. So we will start in the bottom corner. Tim.
You all right, Kevin?
I'm good, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Good. Always glad to have you. Ryan.
You all right, Kevin?
I'm good, Jim. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And after the shit that he pulled today, I'm even afraid to ask, but intern Mark.
You all right, Kevin?
I'm good, Jim. Thanks for having me.
It was fine. And I'm hot, Jim. It's hot in here. I'm
well, Mark,
like a New York waiter.
First off, I don't know even what the hell that means. I'm afraid to ask, so I'm going to bypass it. You know, they make this stuff called air conditioning, right, Mark?
Air conditioning. That's for the birds. Can't hide money here on the air conditioner right now. You can't hide money.
something like that. Maybe if you went to like 1 or 2 less concerts, you could afford the air conditioning.
Then he wasn't going to turn it on, Jim.
I have air conditioning. I just haven't turned it on. How hot does it have to be for you to turn on the air conditioner in your home?
Are you kidding? Ours has been on
15 degrees ago.
I was going to say ours has been on since we turned the heat off, pretty much. Me and Miss Big Jim both have pretty bad allergies. Hers worse than mine. So we're not like a windows open people. So we will go from like heat to circulator fan to air conditioning pretty quick. And it doesn't have to get very hot for us to flip on that AC. We like our house to remain 68 degrees year round.
I'll be darned.
If you get cold in the winter, there's a blanket. But 68 degrees is the temp in our house, and that's just where where we're happy with it.
It's 81 in here right now.
Oh my
Christ, Mark!
Ooh, no,
That is too effing hot.
No, Mark, those dogs are gonna roast.
The dogs are fine.
No, they're
No,
not.
they're not.
I'm telling you, they are not okay.
I
They're right
heard.
here and they're good.
I heard your loving daughter took one step in that house and said, "Nope, I'm driving back to Boston tonight."
She said she's shipping off to Boston. I
That
tried to
is
stop her.
81.
Mark,
81.
It's 81.
Ew.
So I thought I was crazy because I keep the house at 75.
Well, you are,
Wow, that's too
but
hot
that is
too.
that is
Okay, so
that is
let
far
me-
less egregious than Mark.
allow
that's
me to
6
be
degrees
perfectly clear.
better.
Okay, but here's why. So I have a split level, and if I crank it super low, the AC never cuts off. So I'm keeping it at a temperature in which my electric bill can survive, but I'm also comfortable and cool in the house. 75 ain't bad. 81 might as well be 100 in hell, Mark.
Well, it's only 6 more degrees than 75.
No, it's way more.
You know how hot 6 degrees is? Like
I
that,
turned it all the way up to 6.
Hey, I have a question for you. So the high today was 83 degrees. That's outside in the sun. Your house is 2 degrees colder than that, and you have a roof and walls protecting you from the sun.
Oh.
Mark,
He ain't lying.
bring it down.
I'll check on it here in a little bit and see where
No,
we're at.
you're not. Don't lie to me, old man.
I might turn it on here.
Might.
When
Tim,
the
I'm
kids
not
are
gonna lie.
doing
In my mind, 74 sounds so much cooler than 75. I know it is a degree, but
Right.
that's 75. Like that, even put it at yeah, it's below 75. I could almost see that 74. That 75 still feels tight to
75
me.
feels hot, but if you ask me, Jim, you have to live in a house for a week that's 75 or 82.
But Jim, if I said 75 or 76, you would pick 75.
Well, that's true.
Now,
But
to be
God.
fair, I also have ceiling fans that are on that circulate the air.
That just moves hot air. Let's not pretend that cools anything.
It moves cool air when there's cool air in the room.
And it moves
Right,
hot
like
air when there's hot air in the room.
Disney World has a bunch of ceiling fans on every like ride queue when it's 90 degrees outside. It's still 90 degrees
Yeah,
outside.
that just blows
But
90-degree
it's
air and drives
outside.
you sweat.
Stop comparing
also-
my house to the outdoors.
But it also, look, I will agree that
But if it's
air,
75 outdoors, Tim, it's just 75. It is the same outdoor temperature.
but I will agree that air
Correct.
moving in 75 feels better than air not moving in 75. So I will agree with Tim in that aspect.
Now, it only stays at 75 during the day. At night for sleep, we bump it to 71. So during sunlight hours, it's 75 because our house gets really hot. But at night, we bump it down. So at night, it doesn't stay 75. It can get lower.
I feel like you're saying we're going to repeatedly punch you in your testicles. At nighttime, we're going to punch, but just a little less
Just a
hard.
little bit less.
We're going to punch you 4 degrees less hard at night.
All right. Well, I just know who I'm going to start forwarding my power bills to.
No, you don't have to do the look. I can't control Maryland Power, Tim. You have to vote better. I don't know what to tell you.
There ain't no voting. We're already a Democratic state.
Write a letter to the senator then. I don't know.
Well, the problem is we from where we are, we get our power from Pennsylvania.
Do you really?
That's a big problem.
Well, then, as a Pennsylvanian,
that-
I apologize.
I'm not that far from a HERS plant.
Her.
Errors.
Make hers yours.
Her.
Her. I just bought a hers mascot, Chipper. Chipper the Chipmunk. He has a little sweater on that says Chipper.
I believe that. I believe that.
From her.
Now, was there any relation to Tommy Herr, the baseball player? Is that who created Her's chips?
He's
That
from.
I actually don't know.
He lived in the Lancaster area for a while, Lancaster.
I think he was the Barnstormers manager for the first year or two.
He was.
I just always assumed that they were relation to Tommy Herr, the baseball player. I might be dead wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I looked up his Wikipedia, and there's nothing about any relation to the Her's plant.
And there might be different Hers.
They could be. I mean, I feel like Her is a fairly common name here in Lancaster County.
I know Jerry Herr. He's a heck of a mechanic. Jerry Herr.
Did he work on the first car, if you know him?
Yeah, he worked on my first car. Yeah.
No, I didn't say your first car. I said the first car.
Still the same thing.
Then he did, but
to get that going, Mark had to put his feet out the bottom, right?
Yeah, and it was rough stopping that thing sometimes, but
I bet.
Now, you know. Speaking of stopping things, Jimmy, how are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. I've had a couple of days off of work. We went to Knoebels yesterday, and we went to Hershey Park today, and I had a good time, except somebody on this podcast is trying to gaslight me in saying that he was there because he was as Mark disappeared, because Mark claims he was there, and he even has posted photos claiming he was at Hershey Park today.
And a video. I saw the thing swinging today, Jim.
Yeah, but I went to all the usual haunts. I went to his favorite arcade, and I asked the people working there. I went down to Minetown Vittles, and I asked the people there. And
wait, I thought Minetown Vittles was the arcade.
No, there's an arcade beside Minetown Vittles.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay.
There's I went to all his favorite food haunts, and
Even went to the zoo.
I even went to the zoo, and I saw what I'm pretty sure is a dead bobcat and a dead wolf.
That zoo is rough,
dude. It is so bad.
Did you know all the
bears?
animals?
There were some bears wrestling with each other.
Some bass. Smokey likes the bass.
I heard a parrot squawking. Didn't see any eagles. I saw one prairie dog. He was a lonely prairie dog. And I asked, you guys know Mark. He's the guy with the funny walk that talks to way too many people. And they said, yeah, we know him. And I said, so have you seen him today? And they said, no, he hasn't been here. And Mark kept saying, where are you at? Where are you at? So I'm trying to get to him. I stopped in at the Music Box Theater because I know Mark has stopped in there from time to time on a nice little place to cool off for about half an hour. He wasn't there. We stayed for the trivia show. And then I said, hey, the show's ending. I'm on my way to you. And he goes, oh, we had to leave. The dog had to go to the spa. So I'm just a little upset. If he wasn't,
he posted a picture with him, his son, and his daughter. He's wearing the same shirt, Jim, in that picture.
Okay.
What's the chances he put the same shirt on this podcast just to throw you off?
Pretty good, actually. Pretty good. Let's be fair. We've seen this guy do that before. He's got how many of that same possum shirt that he wears all the time? So
Jimmy, I have 17 witnesses.
I mean, we were going today regardless. Like, it wasn't even like I was going today to see Mark. But
I was hopeful we'd see you.
But I just wish if he wasn't going to be there, he would just say, hey, I'm not there today. And I'd have been like, that's okay. I just didn't like being lied to, is all.
Jimmy, I looked everywhere for you. And then you scurried away. Right when I was so close to you, you scurried away into that Music Box Theater for that trivia show when you knew Little Indiana Bones had a spa day at 4:30.
First off, I did not know until...
Yeah, I mean, we saw... Tim and I had to be at work today, working like an honest man over here. These two guys right here, busting our hump for the man.
Honest men, right
Those
there.
guys.
Y'all just get going gallivant whenever y'all want to gallivant. Just go ahead.
Gallivanting. We saw Mark say, "Hey, where are you?" And you some cockamamie story that you were stuck in a Chicky and Pete line for like 20 minutes because one person couldn't get their card. Come on, Jim. Because a guy couldn't get their card working. We saw.
Come on, Jimmy.
They weren't pushing the line through. They were.
Calls it C and P. I've never seen anybody call. I've seen it called Chickies, but I've never seen C and P.
It makes sense though, doesn't it?
It does.
I thought you were at a bank.
I have a question.
Yes, Tim.
What's the likelihood here? And we're gonna play a little devil's advocate.
Okay.
What's the likelihood that the liar of this story is actually Big Jim? We know that Mark lives at Hershey Park. He's always there. If there's anyone who would be able to find somebody at Hershey Park, it would be the mayor of Hershey Park, right?
I saw a picture today of Mark with his kids inside Hershey Park. I saw Jim post pictures of things in Hershey Park that he could have taken from any social media site.
See, took them off my site.
In fact, that bear picture, Jim, I took that picture last year of the bear hiding around the corner when me, you, and your loving wife Dana. He might be at Knoebels 2 days in a row.
That's my loving wife playing the little Plinko game.
That could have been from last year
at Hershey Park today.
That could have been last year's prizes.
She did play the Plinko game last year, Jim.
Look, this is Twiz's Twisted Trivia. This is a new game this year at the Music Box Theater.
Are you in that picture proving it's you?
I'm not in the picture because I wasn't in the game.
What about your finger sliding over the lens somewhere that can prove you were there? Maybe Dana went. She did go on you said the log flume ride, right?
She did.
She wet her pants, I heard.
I think she did a little.
Please don't say anything. Please not say that about our buddy's wife.
Well, she was nervous.
I took a picture of that stupid freaking Twizzler swing, which, by the way, no better feeling about that ride after seeing it in person, by the way.
It's just a swing set.
It's a swing set, Jimmy, but it is enormous.
Swing set from hell.
It reminded me of Devin's anatomy.
Whoa. Whoa.
He says blame the kids, the kids on the school trip. You know what? I think that's fair.
Yeah,
there was way
you're
too
not
many
wrong.
kids there today.
You're not wrong. Boy, they're a pain in the neck.
I'm assuming that's like just a 2-week just plague that invades Hershey for
I think it's
this
like
week and last week. That long.
I think it's a month long. And I'll tell you, well, then I did, but no, you might be right. I guess it was a 2-week thing because the park opened for daily operations. They're there on the weekend, but not in school groups. But those school kids are just they're like uncaged animals. Honestly, they are. We did
a physics day at Hershey Park.
That was in the fall, right? If I remember.
I remember Psychics Day there.
I don't remember if it was in the fall or not. I couldn't remember. But I remember
I said
doing
next year.
paperwork.
I said next year if we get if we go to Hershey Park Pass night with the Bears, we got to go like a week or two later in June because it was just.
Yep. Don't go in August. August.
Well, no, you have to use them before July 1st.
All right, go later in June.
A little later in June.
I'll go. Let me know when that Bears game is. We'll
yeah. When they announce the schedule and all that, we'll figure that out because we
can't beat a Hershey Park Pass and a Hershey Bears game.
We did miss you today.
Yeah, it would have been nice to be invited.
But
I know
I saw the Masons. We talked to the Mason. I won some nice prizes. I was all excited to see you.
You see that? Did you see the family that we always see at the wrestling shows?
Oh
that knows you.
They find me every time I'm in there. They found me at Christmas time when it was like -7.
Did they find you today?
Not they did. They found me.
So maybe Mark wasn't there today.
Last Wednesday when I was there, they found me. I was on my way to see Jelly Donut, and they caught me on my way out.
Wait,
but also too,
they were walking around in the pouring rain with you.
They were.
I couldn't think of a more miserable way to spend my life.
Gosh, sounds
What do you
terrible.
mean, walking around in the
I'm
rain?
gonna go walk around 50 degrees, pouring down rain at Hershey Park with intern Mark.
Let me tell you what could be actually worse: walking around 50-degree weather, pouring down rain at Knoebels, actually. And I love Knoebels, but it's the stone, and that way that place floods.
It just turns into mud. It just turns into mud.
You're gone.
But man, we played so much Fascination yesterday. It was
boy.
It was awesome. I love it.
Still have to get. We have to get Mark up.
We do. We absolutely. I kept
like
saying that yesterday. Like, we need to just pick a day and drive up there. It's a nice little drive. So
can we go when the Mahoney brothers are playing?
We could actually do that. We could take you to Centralia then too, and get you lost.
All right,
Centralia.
let's go.
Just leaving Centralia. Is that what you said?
I've got some hot dogs.
I didn't say that. Yes.
I think you might have. All right. Well, we've jibber jabbered enough. We actually have some stuff to talk about, and unfortunately, well, actually, let's start with this. We'll start with Wrestler of the Week. Let me hit the.
Since John Moxley and Cesaro, way before Gargano, there was Savage and Roddy, and Saturdays on NBC. These five guys on Facebook are gonna take a hard look. 3 Count Thursday brings to you the wrestler on the week.
All right. So as we know, it is week 22, but as we know the rules, when intern Mark is here, he has to lead us off, so he can't steal our homework. So Mark, who is your wrestler of the week this week?
Oh, I have this wrestler debuted, and a shocking debut. It's shocking. Mariah Maniac debuted in NXT.
Mariah Maniac. Does she have an NXT name yet, or is she just going to be Mariah May? Do we know?
Mariah May.
She'll be Jenny June, I think, in NXT. Maybe?
I heard she's going to have a WWE name.
Okay.
Because they didn't actually name her, I don't think, commentary. And I don't think she said anything. She just said about it being glamorous.
Glamour or something, yeah.
Right.
Like Fergie.
Just like Fergie.
Just like Fergie, I think.
Fergie.
Yeah. So Mark's got Mariah May. Ryan.
That's a good choice, Mark. I can't argue with that.
Hello, Smokey.
Hi, everybody. I don't have Mariah May as my champion. I have Jackson Drake. Jackson Drake, the new WWE Evolve champion.
Evolve. Evan said, I know I didn't win People's Champ on the scorecards, but his is Roxanne. Well, you didn't win, Devin.
Roxanne.
Truth told, I don't know who won. I forgot that we had a scorecard.
You know what? Let's just say Devin won. Fuck it. Devin gets to choose Roxanne.
There you go.
He's a good boy.
Devin picks Roxanne. Tim,
although you didn't win, so you only get it for a week, Devin. That's the rules.
Them's the rules. Tim, who is your wrestler of the week this week?
I'd love to pick Jackson Drake, but WWE Evolve doesn't exist. So
it does too.
It's on Tubi, right?
To be what? To be announced? To be
okay, don't play that to be announced bullshit game.
To be determined.
To be canceled probably within the next 6 months.
Pretty quickly.
To be asked where to watch this.
But while it lasts, Jackson Drake is the champion.
Tubi. I still don't understand what you're saying.
The Super Bowl aired on Tubi.
It also aired it also aired on certain refrigerators, so I don't know what you're asking about.
That's fine. It aired in beautiful 4K on
beautiful 0.4K.
That's right. So my pick this week is going to be
any AEW fan that watches 4 hours of their programming. Ha! Good choice.
In some countries, that's
technically it's 2 shows. So, no, I think I'm gonna take. I feel like there was a something happening last week, but I don't recall.
Boy, was there? You're close, Tim. You're right.
I'm very close.
Yeah,
you know what? I'm picking the homer pick. Savio Vega.
Love it.
New 3LW World Champion.
Big Savio.
3LW World Champ, the new one. And he'll be defending it every 6.2 days when there's a 3LW show. for the next. Their schedule, dude. We were talking last week about WWE's crazy schedule. Three Legacies is running all the time, man.
All the time. They're at a brewery. They're at the Zembo Shrine. They're at Pride Fest. They're everywhere.
They got
be at the
Lebanon Fair.
Yep, they're doing fairground shows
all
this
over
year.
the place, all over the place, and they're still doing shows at Millersville.
That's great exposure. I like it.
Yeah, heck yeah. So go check them out and check them out anywhere, everywhere.
Right, throw a dart, you'll end up where they're at.
You will. I will go with went down and won the he's the new WWC Universal Heavyweight Champion, Carlito, your new WWC champion. So we will get Matt's at some point. Matt
is the apple that Carlito spit out during that match.
Yeah. It sure was. So all right, let's let Mark put an end to this one. Mark, why is the board not working?
That was your wrestler of the week.
All right. So the good from the week, and unfortunately there was some bad
Don't want to talk about it
from the week this past week. I know we don't want to. It stinks. On Sunday, R-Truth, Ron Killings, tweeted out, "I'm sorry to inform you, I just got released from WWE. I want to thank WWE for the ride, but mostly I want to thank each and every one of you who was along for the ride. Thank you for all the love, the support, and appreciation you have given me over the years. Thank you." And yeah, the news started hitting the social media on Sunday that R-Truth was his contract expiring, not being renewed by WWE. Carlito as well had tweeted out later on Sunday as well. But I think, you know, like this one definitely seemed just really kind of shocking and out of nowhere. The guy literally just had a featured match on Saturday night's main event against John Cena, had the #1 selling t-shirt, the Ron Cena retirement tour shirt on the shop site. So start with just the reaction to the R-Truth release. We can get into more about the bigger picture of what it may mean when it comes to WWE and TKO specifically. But just the release itself, whoever wants to go first, the reaction to R-Truth, not being renewed by WWE.
I'm never watching wrestling again. TKO has ruined wrestling for me, and I'm done.
This is it. This is the end.
And that's how you overreact.
That is how you overreact.
Shit, it sucks. It really does suck. I'm glad he got to have a moment with John Cena. I would assume that's from what some of the stories have come out, that this has kind of been happening and coming for a bit. And maybe Cena caught wind of it and wanted to give him some exposure and a rub on the way out. And if that's the case, kudos to Cena for doing that. But I don't know. Let's remember all the fun things with R-Truth. And there's so many great one-liners, and the moments that he went out to break another character, live.
I don't even know if that was PG.
That's a great one. I'm sorry. That's my bad. That's on me. That's one of my favorite ones when he declared, and then no, I guess that was when he was in the ladder match.
Yeah,
he declared for the Rumble with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar, and then undeclared for the Rumble in the same one. Just so many fun little bits that it's gonna suck to see. I hope he lands up in AEW, or I'd give him a short-term contract to just have him like walk around backstage. Like they don't even mention it. You just see R-Truth like walking around for like 2 weeks.
I'd love if they call him R-Truth, by the way.
And then just walk up to Edge, because I think you could say Edge now, because I think the WWE no longer has that.
They let the trademark expire.
And then I don't know, give Moxley a plant. And be like, hey man, here's Mitch, and Mox like paradigm shift him or something. I don't fucking know. Like, and then just never have him show up again. That's fine.
Yeah,
but just have some fun with it. And then he can go back to TNA, where I think he can end his career in TNA.
Yeah. Tim, Mark, thoughts on just the reaction to the news?
Well, Jim, I got up to go get me a cold pop.
Oh, come on.
And I thought somebody was tweeting. And I looked and I said, oh, Lord Jesus, they let Ron Killings go. And I ran for my life, Big Jim. I didn't have no shoes or nothing. I ran to the phone and I called Smokey.
It's true. I got his call. I said, Mark, what the hell are you doing calling me?
Hello, Smokey.
Well, I was upset.
He was.
After I got off the phone with Smokey, I made an appointment at my local veterinarian's office. That's how upset I was, Jim. I think it's pretty sad that they let Ron go. Couldn't offer him a Legends contract, something. I'm sure he wasn't making a whole lot of money, but he seems like a good man. And it really makes you think nobody's safe from being let go because he just main evented Saturday Night's main event.
Technically wasn't the main event, but I understand what you're going with.
Wait, did anyone?
Well, he was on a big time show.
That's some girls up in that house.
Did anybody just hear that blood curdling scream in the
There's
background?
screaming going on here. You know what that is? That's the Nintendo Switch 2.
When are you inviting us over
money.
for a Switch night, Mark, by the way, now that...
Well, I was going to call off today, but I couldn't do that to my boys.
Oh, so you were working today. You were not at Hershey Park. Got it. Tim, your reaction to R-Truth not being renewed by WWE?
Well, first of all, Mark lives at Hershey Park. So how is he not at Hershey Park right now?
I'm in the giant size lounge as we speak.
No, the walls behind you are way too sturdy to be that
Way
giant
too
size
sturdy.
lounge.
Although the screams make sense. That's what happens when anybody new walks into that giant size lounge and
That's
sees
nice.
the size of what they've just paid for.
I paid for what for this? But
Bargains
Welcome
by
to
the
the broom
bike.
closet.
God, Charlie, sorry I'm late, boys. Was giving the lady a little Thursday Night Thunder. Well,
That show's been off TV for a while. That makes sense from a guy, Mr. Library.
on the on the little Devin, Jesus, says it was
Thursday
bullshit.
Night Thunder.
That was his reaction.
Oh no, he's talking about the giant size pass holder lounge.
Oh well, yeah, that's
Yes.
true. But Tim, go ahead.
That's all, and Devin would know about giant size things.
Yes.
He's gifted anatomically.
What Truth being not renewed lets me know is that it's just a follow-up of all of the crazy stuff with New Orleans for WrestleMania. It is a different time. And by no means am I saying I wish Vince McMahon were here. But Vince knew how to honor a deal. Vince knew how to honor loyalty in employees.
They didn't renew his deal. It's not like they terminated him.
Correct,
Before we
but
put Vince
also
too high on I get the loyalty thing. The loyalty thing is there.
Vince had Moolah and Mae Young until the day they died,
putting them through tables with the Dudley boys.
And they had R-Truth acting like the fooliest fool on television. He made an invisible person get over. He was made to look like a fool on countless occasions.
Countless.
Made a living off of being the fool.
Mm-hmm.
While I'm not saying I wish for the good old days, what I'm just stating is that sometimes the worst people have some good intentions in certain degrees. And this shit wouldn't happen under Vince.
It wouldn't have
Somebody
happened
else
with
would have
our
got cut,
truth. Right. I
but
was gonna
not
say,
our
it wouldn't
truth.
happen with our truth. It would have happened with somebody else because
Yeah.
the Vince McMahon regime was notorious for underutilizing people, firing people, etc. Like he did have his favorites, and by all
How long
accounts,
did Funaki have a job for?
He is still employed, I believe.
I don't think so.
I believe he is
Yeah,
a
definitely.
commentator. I'm fairly certain Funaki is employed with the WWE.
Is
Someone
he
can
doing
fact
Japanese
check me.
commentary?
Someone can check me, but I'm fairly certain he is.
but right, this I do agree with what Tim said that this would not have happened with Vince McMahon still running WWE. I fully agree with that. Because Vince or Truth was Vince liked Ron Killings, R-Truth, liked having him there. So I do agree with that. Yeah, look,
Funaki is a professional wrestling manager, color commentator, and retired professional wrestler signed to the WWE, where he works as the Japanese language play-by-play commentator.
There you go.
Cats.
He was released before then, though.
Indeed.
No, my reaction, it sucks. Like, if there was ever a guy that I would have thought, even in a new era of WWE, would have been kind of a lifetime guy, I would have thought that R-Truth would have been a lifetime guy. Like, just because he seemed beloved by everybody and brought something special whenever he was on camera. Whether it was 2 minutes or 10, it didn't matter. When R-Truth was on the screen, it brought something. You had to watch it. You had to watch him because it was going to be entertaining. It was going to be memorable in some way. Whether it was, I don't even think that's PG, or it's just running in the middle of a freaking, his music hits during the women's Royal Rumble, and oops, my bad, I thought this was the men's, or like he goes to pin somebody in the ladder match, and they're like, "Truth, what are you doing? You have to climb the ladder." No matter what it was, like there was something that you were going to remember when R-Truth is on TV. So it sucks. It absolutely sucks. And yeah, I mean, it is kind of that unfortunate reminder that the wrestling business is the wrestling business, and in the TKO version of WWE, that there may not be such thing as a lifetime employee. There may not be a WWE lifer. There may, and then this week you have people realizing that Gunther, who just re-signed for like 5 years or something, removed WWE stuff from his bio, and Miz removed WWE stuff from his bio, so it sends people panicking. And Sean Ross Sapp, who's regardless of what I think of the dude as a what kind of spine he has to be in the journalism business, the guy usually is pretty connected with contract stuff and releases and things like. And he right away he threw the flag on the Miz stuff. He's like, "This is a non-story. Everybody stop panicking." But in a week where you see a longtime beloved WWE employee, superstar, not renewed, you tend to worry about a guy like the Miz when he removes all of the WWE mentions on at least on his Twitter. I didn't check his Instagram. I just see the stories when he reposts pictures of his wife because he never loses. But it sucks, and it is a harsh reminder about this era that when they no longer view you as usable at your current dollar value, corporations are going to do what corporations do when they no longer see you as valuable. In the cases of Carlito and R-Truth, the contracts were up. We're not renewing. I think the same thing. Sarah Logan as well. Valhalla, same thing. Contract coming up. we're not going to renew the contract, which, you know, and over the time of this podcast, we've had many unfortunate times where we've had to talk about people getting fired. I mean, these guys they just re-signed for 2 years. Now they're being fired. You know, I don't necessarily want to get into the semantics of which version is better, but if you're letting the contract that was signed play out and we're just not bringing you back, I mean, I think Ryan, you touched on it when Tim was talking. Like, isn't that what the terms of a contract does? Like, if you have a contract as a lawn care service with somebody, if after the 2 years we went through it with our realtor, we signed a contract where we could only work with her for a year. We were not happy with her. After a year, we went a different direction and got a different realtor.
Then you sold the house.
Then we sold the house. And we were able to find a house. And so in the world of contracts will what contracts will. But yeah, it does suck when it is somebody who is a beloved person and character on this TV program that we watch regularly or somewhat regularly, depending on how frequently you watch. It sucks. It really sucks.
Yeah, I think for me, what kind of hurts the most about it is being so close. But what burns about it is if it were like an isolated incident and it was one thing I'm scratching my head about with WWE, that's cool. I'm just starting to slowly, like, I don't know if it's convictions or conversations or just my tastes as an adult. Like, I completely understand that a corporation's job, first and foremost, as a corporation, is to make the shareholders profitable.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Full stop.
Yep, that's a full
Any
stop
means
right there.
necessary, fist in the air, make us money. And does that mean that so-and-so's got to get fired? Yup. Does that mean we have to get a Saudi Arabia deal? So they pay us WrestleMania type prices whenever we go over there? Yup. Does that mean that strategically we've sided with, MAGA related things and in the background and kind of taking advantage of that? Yes. Does that also mean that they are aggressively counter programming AEW, even though they're not the competition?
Yep.
Like, there's so many, like, getting rid of every single one of, like, your DEI hires one by one. Yep. At a certain point, like, I don't want to penalize the wrestlers I enjoy, but also too, like, at the end, at a certain point, like, if you want things to change, things got to change, right? I'm getting less and less enthused about talking about WWE.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna do it because I follow wrestling, but I need sports entertainment to go away.
Here's the shit thing about pleasing shareholders in an entertainment style business. Chances are those shareholders are in it for the money and they're not fans of actually shareholders in general. People that own stock of Walmart probably aren't the folks that are always shopping at Walmart. Folks that are shopping or owning Target stock aren't Target shoppers. These guys are shopping at a level above that because they own mass amounts of stock, and that's how they make their money.
Yeah.
So they don't have to be fans, and it doesn't have to make sense to them. And them firing R-Truth or not renewing R-Truth's contract to a shareholder, they couldn't give a shit.
Yep.
They wouldn't know. They don't know the difference between R-Truth and The Miz and Gunther. They might know John Cena because he's done a couple of movies. He has a recognizable face. Other than that, you could put up 5 pictures and be like, hey, point to R-Truth. They wouldn't be able to. All they give a shit is that bottom line. It is what it is. It sucks, and that's business. Like, it just sucks, but it's what it is. It's business. Don't like it? Buy TKO stock, make your voice heard. That's what you can do. If not, stop watching.
Right. But
go give your money to the other billionaires.
Here's the deal. Year to date, TKO Group Holdings is up 18.35%. That's what the shareholders care about.
That's all they
January 2nd, they were at 142 points. Today they closed at 168.92.
That's more money in their pocket.
It is the high. It peaked in February at 176.
You peaked in February.
I peaked long before February, by the way.
Wow.
I saw something in the news. I saw something in the news about Nick Khan selling like $4 million of stock.
Vince McMahon sold a bunch this week.
Yeah. Well, I thought he was out.
Or was this with the remainder? Maybe.
Oh, I thought he was out I thought he's been completely out for a while.
No, I think I saw this week. Let me check that. I don't want to say an incorrect, but
I mean, I don't think Vince McMahon's the answer, obviously.
Oh, I'm not saying
and
Vince
I'm not
McMahon
saying
is the
that you're
answer.
saying that either. I understand loyalty ran deep with Vince McMahon. But you can play the loyalty game when you work for a family-owned and operated company. Once you started being publicly traded, that made it tougher. And the WWE has been publicly traded for years. Once you merge with the TKO group, loyalty just doesn't mean shit anymore.
But I think what part of the uproar is not that R-Truth is not going to be featured on television anymore. I don't think that's where a lot of the outrage is. Where the outrage is how can the WWE, whose unwritten motto is putting smiles on people's faces, sever ties completely with one of the top 5 smile deliverers on the active roster, wrestling or nah.
Yeah.
R-Truth was a joy bringer. There's no reason he couldn't have been kept on as a WWE ambassador.
There's always opportunities he can re-sign. They didn't terminate him or let him go. They just didn't renew his current contract. He can always come back and re-sign.
Maybe he eventually will too. And that's something we don't know.
And at the end of the day, Tim, name me a comedy wrestler that drew and actually made the not Santino, not the Hurricane. These guys were mid-level wrestlers. Not R-Truth. It just doesn't draw in the WWE.
I don't agree. I will say that yes, they will not be the biggest money maker on the roster.
So then why would you, if you're TKO, invest money in that when you're not going to get that in return? Put your money where you're going to make more money. It sucks.
Right. But Ryan, if you were to go to the circus,
sure.
Would you want to go to the circus and see 15 lions back to back to back to back to back, and all you saw were lions?
If lions are what pays my bill, I don't care. If I'm the circus promoter, I'm bringing in people that pay my bills. And if people want to see circus and they want to see lions, then I bring in all the fucking lions.
But then do you also get rid of...
You want a clown? We can bring in a clown. We've got clowns anywhere. I can put paint on anybody. I can put paint on anybody and call them a clown. And if that doesn't work, we'll get rid of them and put paint on somebody else and call them the next clown.
Understood. But my thing is that it's just lions.
Sure. Yeah.
There are no clowns. There's no trapeze artist. There's no anything else.
Yeah, we call that NXT.
There is no pasta.
They're flipping, flopping all over the place down there.
The problem
I'll just pull one of them up and slap a coat of paint on their face if people start asking where the clowns went.
But that is downplaying the importance or not the importance, but the relevance of an R-Truth.
He was a really good clown. I'm not arguing that.
Yeah, I don't think you can just grab
of the clowns.
I don't think you could grab any Tom, Dick, and Harry or Harry. You couldn't grab just somebody off of NXT and be like, hey, you're gonna be R-Truth. Do what he does. Can't.
No, you absolutely
can't do it.
I'm not replacing R-Truth. I'm just
even in a Moneyball
segment. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, even in a Moneyball situation, I don't think that you could get 3 people from NXT.
Nope.
For the cost of R-Truth. Whatever the cost of R-Truth is, I don't think you have the number of people that can equal that dollar amount to give you what R-Truth can provide.
And I'm not trying to do that.
Right.
I'm just trying to break up the lions in your example with the comedy bit, with the clown. It doesn't matter who the fuck it is. If people are tired of lions, they'll laugh at whatever clown. I don't give a shit if it's Grayson Waller. Put some makeup on. He's my clown. Do a cartwheel. Come out. Here comes more lions. That's where I butter my bread. It sucks. I'm going to miss him a lot. I really hope he lands on his feet. I'd love to see him do stupid shit in AEW. I really, really hope that.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw the clip going around from Busted Open with Mark Henry, Bully, and Dave LaGreca, Jim's idol.
Why does Jim always want to be like Dave?
I know.
Stop that.
You're not screaming loud enough.
He physically wants to fill his shoes.
I know.
Absolutely.
That's what all the
His
screaming
bare
about.
feet. But they made like a really fun, creative point of like, you know what what Tony Khan should do? You should hire R-Truth and he still thinks he's in the WWE.
Love it.
So he walks up to every current WWE or all the former WWE guys.
Cesaro, Moxley,
Cesaro,
Edge,
Ambrose.
Christian.
Yeah, literally. And he calls them by their old name. Like, Dean, where have you been?
Right, because Dean's not a trademarked name. It's just Dean.
Right. Who's Dean?
Like I said, Edge isn't a trademark name anymore. Christian isn't a trademark name. Like he's
You
Christian
call
Cage.
him Ricochet. Ricochet's Ricochet. There are plenty of people that you can do this to.
And you could easily cut him off before he says anything. Like him running up to MVP Shelton and Bobby Lashley. And he goes, the Hurt bleh. And MJF goes, we're a syndicate. This is a syndicate now. And like, there's just things you can still do with R-Truth. Now, the one other thing they did talk about on Busted Open, and I hate to give credit to the worst people in the room sometimes.
Thank you.
But they also mentioned maybe WWE tried to re-sign him and they were offering him pennies on the dollar.
So
Truth goes, nah, I don't want it. Because on Busted Open, Mark Henry mentioned he took like a 50% pay cut at the end of his contract.
Big Mac speaks on that. He says he didn't want to take a pay cut. Max is the guy's in his 50s getting paid more than most. And maybe Truth says, I'm still worth that. And if Truth says I'm still worth that, and WWE/TKO, let's be fair, it's TKO at this point.
It's TKO.
Says no, you aren't.
And
guess what? Move on.
TKO did the exact same thing to the UFC.
Yeah.
That's
Which,
absolutely
oddly
right.
enough, you can buy a UFC 316 shirt on WWEshop.com right now.
Look at that.
All the old guard from the UFC went away to the point now where I don't know anybody, unless you are addicted to MMA, you can't name me one active fighter.
Chuck Liddell.
Not active.
Well, and isn't that like where TKO's looking? Well, we have Evolve and we have the WWE ID program and we have WWE LFG and we have NXT. Why are we paying 50-year-old R-Truth $2 million a year? We don't need to pay this guy $2 million a year. Offer him $800,000 a year.
Right.
And when Truth says no, the TKO says, "All right, well, thank you for your hard work. We'll see you next time."
Truth has been around. Truth has been around enough that Truth has been around enough to know what the play is.
Yeah.
And like, he knows he's 53. He knows he's old, but he also knows that he can make just as good money doing the indie circuit and the autograph circuit.
Heck yeah.
For sure.
Like, you want to know what I expect to hear in 90 days?
It doesn't even have to be 90 days. It could be tomorrow. His deal's
that's true.
Oh, I don't know when his deal actually expires.
Right.
So
it could be
the day after his deal is actually up. He's free.
I suspect that it is probably the same time as Carlito's.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's up in arms about R-Truth and his contract not being renewed. Whereas the same exact time, Mark's Wrestler of the Week, Mariah May, her contract wasn't renewed with AEW, and she landed somewhere else within days.
And the funniest part about it is the majority of people, again, that I've seen on social media in the limited time that I spend on it anymore, the people I've seen, and maybe it's just the way the algorithm works, but I'm seeing more people mad at Mariah May for going to the Fed than they are with Tony Khan just letting her contract expire. It is one of the wilder like observances of like wrestling social media.
Okay.
The same thing needs to apply to Mariah May. Maybe they said, this is what we think you're worth. And Mariah said, bet. And found a paycheck elsewhere.
I think people are also mad because they're looking back over like old tweets of hers, which is also such a weird activity. And if you're one of these people, stop. Just like looking back over like 10 year like tweets that are 8, 9, 10 years old and going, look, she was always a Fed fan. We were all fucking Fed fans. Like, are you like the people wrestling in AEW were fucking Fed fans? Like, are you kidding?
Well, you weren't an AEW fan 8 years ago, Jim?
Shockingly, I was not. I was not, Ryan.
So there's a tinge of difference.
Mark, you were a TNA fan, weren't you?
I still am.
Who wasn't?
So there's a little bit of a difference between WWE not renewing R-Truth and Tony Khan not renewing Mariah May.
Oh, okay.
Mariah May purposely signed a shorter term contract with AEW to utilize AEW the way that wrestling should be utilized right now, where you go to one place with your goal of going to place B. You use place A to get a proof of concept to raise your stock, and knowing your contract's going to expire and you're not going to re-sign because you want to go to place B, then
maybe R-Truth is playing the long game.
At 53 years old, I don't suspect that. But I also expect, though, Mariah May's signing to the WWE, while it sucks to some, it's how the wrestling business should be now.
Yeah, absolutely.
AEW and just as many, and I say this on Final Wrestling Place, and I haven't said it here, but I'll bring it here too. There's probably just as many 20-somethings in AEW who are disgruntled, who are only there for a short period of time, only to get discovered by the WWE because they want their WrestleMania moments.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably just as many of them as there are people in WWE that are in their 40s, seeing the writing on the wall, seeing that that their time is coming, who have a lot more in the tank.
Feels a lot like 30 years ago, doesn't it?
That can turn and go to AEW and get a new lease on life. Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, Dustin Rhodes, Christian, Edge. Like I named 5 of the oldest, but look at a Mercedes Moné.
Yeah.
completely redone her stock. And so like that part of the wrestling business is there. I think just what stings the most about Truth, and we'll just belabor the point, but it's he felt like a WWE lifer.
He did. And I agree. That's what's really, really sucks about it.
To me, if I'm in TKO, I'm going to try to find the number to keep him around. Because to me, he's more valuable with us than we are without him.
Yeah. And here's the deal. Maybe he goes and does that, 6-week stint in AEW where he's walking around and, hey, Chris, Jericho, you were a lot skinnier the last time I saw you. Where you been, dog? Like those sort of things. And then he does that, gets his 6-week paycheck from Tony Khan, and then they come back to TKO and they figure out the Legends deal. Or then he goes back to TNA and dabbles in the WWE experience because those two are one and the same anymore, and eventually lands in a Legends deal, and he gets his Hall of Fame spot and all of that. Like the business is business. And I recently just saw it on YouTube, but I'm sure it's still on Peacock. It's in the WWE vault. The WWE 24 on R-Truth is one of the best WWE 24 episodes. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. That dude is infinitely smart in the world and in the business world. He will get every dollar that he wants post WWE. I'm not worried about Ron Killings.
People also forget he's a musician too.
Yeah, and I am sad that R-Truth is no longer going to be on my WWE TV, but I am not worried about Ron Killings.
I am selfishly sad about that. Correct.
Yeah.
I absolutely am.
Yeah.
And I hope he finds somewhere that he can practice, because I'm selfishly sad and I want to see him entertain me, because he was great at what he did. I'm not saying what I said to belittle R-Truth, because he was fantastic. He is the greatest.
You're speaking the truth.
He is
about
the
business.
GOAT of the comedy sliver of professional wrestling. You can't argue that. The business of it sucks. I want to see R-Truth on a television, and there are so many. I'd love to see him end up in TNA and then just fucking walk out in NXT, being like, "Hey, I can walk through this door," and just confuse. Why not? It's fucking R-Truth. Confuse people. Have fun with it. That's what he needs to do.
Absolutely. By the way, I did circle back. It was just this week, June 3rd. Vince McMahon sold a big a portion of his TKO stock to Endeavor Group, the majority shareholder of the parent company of WWE. 1.579 million shares of him. Back in April, he had owned about 8 million TKO shares. And he just sold 1.5, so he's down to about 6.5. He has made with his latest sale, Vince McMahon has now sold more than $2 billion worth of TKO shares to date. So Vince, horrible human being. Not
lawsuits are expensive, aren't they?
Not that they are expensive, and depending on what happens with Johnny Ace's recent heel turn, face turn, depending on what side of the lawsuit you're on, those lawsuits might get a little bit more expensive here coming up. But
unrelated, Ryan, have you heard R-Truth's country song?
I've not.
He put out a country song like 2 weeks ago.
I'll have to check that out. I will check that out immediately after this show.
We're gonna skip over. Just we're already past an hour. We're gonna skip over the Worlds Collide preview, but that is Saturday at 3 Eastern on WWE's YouTube channel.
Not watching that.
So go ahead, check that out. But then Saturday night, from the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California, it is WWE Money in the Bank. The tagline of the show, Ryan, because we know you love your taglines, is "The last time is now." A 4-match card.
That tagline sucks. That poster is fucking fire. I love this poster.
The poster's great. Lose the tagline at the top, or just tuck it in the bottom under the under the logo.
I don't even mind the tagline on this poster. This poster is perfect. I fucking love this poster.
Poster's good. Poster's real good. All right, 4 matches on the card. We will start with the last chance match for the WWE Women's Intercontinental title. If Becky Lynch loses, she can no longer challenge for the title as long as Lyra Valkyria is the champion. If Valkyria loses, she will be forced to raise Becky Lynch's hand and acknowledge Lynch as the better woman. Whew. That is quite the stipulation. Ryan, we'll start with you. Lyra defending against Becky Lynch.
God, I hope it's a double count out. That stipulation sucks. Becky Lynch.
Tim.
I hope that the San Andreas Fault opens up and swallows the Intuit Center before this match happens. I don't want anyone to die. I just don't want the event to happen.
I don't even know if that was PG.
It is PG. I just want some building destruction. People are safe.
That's fair.
100% of the people are safe. 100% of that building is dead.
That's fair. That's fair.
Maybe I shouldn't have said dead. With that said, I guess Becky Lynch.
All right. I don't think a building can die. I don't think a building is living.
It can die, Jim.
It
can?
Yes.
That's pretty well known. I'm surprised you didn't know that.
Well, you learn something new every day.
That's
Intern
what's
Mark.
Well, I don't think this match is going to happen because Big Dick Devin.
Big Deck Divin.
Big Deck Divin. He's got a big deck too. I'll tell you what.
Huge deck. Huge deck. So holds parties on it and everything.
He just trimmed the bushes. It looks even bigger. The deck, that is. Big Deck Devin.
Oh God.
He told me that Becky's fighting Bacteria, so I don't think the match is going to happen. Becky's going to be out.
Bacteria wins this weekend.
Yeah, Bacteria's going to win. Becky's out. Big Deck Devin. Big Deck Divin. Big Deck. Yes. Devin.
You're going to end up saying something real inappropriate here, Mike.
I better not say another.
My man's having a stronk over here.
You're stronking.
Hello.
I don't want to see Becky Lynch as Intercontinental Champion, even though it'll probably happen. I don't want to see this feud continue. So for the love of God, Bacteria, please win and let Becky go steal somebody else's title reign. And,
please.
Yeah, really, whoever the victor is, as long as this feud ends, I don't give a shit.
Right. That's all that matters. I'm over hearing the two same characters yell at each other on Monday Night Raw anymore. I'm just done with it. All right, next one we have the tag team match. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso taking on John Cena and Logan Paul. Because when I think John Cena retirement tour, I think tag teaming with Logan Paul. Ryan.
Oh God, what a dumb match. Who's him with the Usman?
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, obviously Cody and Uzi.
All right, Tim.
Jay and Cody.
Uzi Rhodes.
That according to Big Devin Dick, the Hulk Hogan and John Cena are going to take this one. Big Devin.
I'm so scared every time you try to say his name. Devin had Becky in the first one. He's got Cody and Jay in this one. Yeah, there's no way this Cena Logan team is going to work. There's no way the quarterback, as Joe Tessitore honked into the mic on Friday night.
Over him, by the way.
I love Joe Tessitore. I hate him on commentary.
It feels so forced.
It does, and I don't know if it's because he wants to hit Bad News Barrett in the Adam's apple because he sucks.
That's true.
Or what? I don't. If he's just like, man, I did not sign up for this.
I want to do a good job, and I'm trying too hard to do a good job.
I think he does great in like the Saturday Night Main Event pay-per-view like host role.
I like him there.
I liked him at first on commentary when he wasn't with Wade Barrett, but now It's a good thing I don't watch a lot of SmackDown. I'll just put it that way. Yeah, but yeah, Rhodes and Uzi are winning here. All right, then we have the 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches. We'll start with the women's. Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley, Julia, Naomi, and Stephanie Vaquer. Who is walking out with the briefcase? Ryan.
This will be Roxanne.
All right, Tim.
This is so difficult to pick. I think WWE is going to go safe. They're going to go Naomi.
Okay, I like that. I actually like that a lot. Mork.
I was thinking Stephanie Vaquer was going to take this one.
Vaquer.
Yes, Vaquer for you too, Jimmy.
I don't think the WWE can actually go wrong in this one.
They can, and it would be Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley, okay.
Yeah, as long as anybody but Rhea, and I'm good here. And I love Rhea Ripley, but we don't need her with Money in the Bank.
Right, she doesn't need it at all.
If she walked in on Monday into Adam Pearce's office and said, I want a title match tonight, she could get it. Like, because she's there, she's in the conversation. She does not need Money in the Bank. Alexa Bliss, to a degree, could probably get the same because of the history and her title history. But I think just because it's been so long since she's been in the title picture,
I agree
that you can't go wrong with her. Man, yeah, I will pick Alexa Bliss because I love Alexa Bliss, but it could be Roxanne. Like, they were pushing Roxanne huge on Raw the last couple of weeks. Stephanie Vaquer had a featured debut this week. Julia has been featured since she's been up. So it literally could be anybody. And that, I think that's what's really cool about this women's match. Anybody but Rhea, and I'm good. Devin has Roxanne picking up the win here. And then we go to the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, Penta, Seth Rollins, Andrade, and El Grande Americano. Ryan.
El Grande Americano.
All right. Tim?
Seth Rollins.
Okay.
Yes. I'm going with Seth freaking Rollins as well. I think he'll do the most with it. He'll get the most mileage out of it with him carrying that briefcase.
If by most mileage you mean he's cashing in the same day, yes.
Oh yeah, this match is going to open the show, and he's going to cash in on Jey Uso to close out the night. That is 100% what is happening. I will know the end of this show if the men's match opens the show. Like, they will bookend it with Seth Rollins. And I like it. I like when Seth is on top. Seth Rollins is my that's going to be a soundbite. Yeah, that left my mouth way too quick. I didn't have time to stop it. That's on me.
Yes.
Yeah, let's see. That was around one.
Sevens.
That was around 113-ish. Okay, all right, 113.
Why doesn't the same rules that apply to the women's match apply here to the men's for you guys? Like, you don't want Rhea because she could just walk in and ask for a match. Why couldn't?
Oh, I don't want Seth necessarily.
I don't either.
Okay.
It's what the WWE has told me since this faction has formed.
Gotcha. I was hoping my pick was a Hopi pick more than.
Yes,
I would. Don't get me wrong, I would love El Grande Americano to win because, now granted, if he wins, it's going to be a burned Money in the Bank contract. There's no way El Grande Americano's winning the world title. Okay, you'll either lose it to somebody in a match or it's going to be an automatic loss.
Yep.
The only other person I want to see win the Money in the Bank on the men's side is Penta.
Yep.
I'd love Penta. I'd be fine with LA Knight. He's cooled off since like a year ago. It'd be cool to see him. I'd love to see him get a cash in and a win. I'd love to see LA Knight as a world champion in WWE. Solo, no. Andrade, no.
Yes.
But like I just feel like it is they've told us for weeks that it will be Seth Rollins. And I think the fact that you didn't even have you had El Grande Americano beat AJ Styles and CM Punk for the last spot in this tells me that even stronger. So yeah, if the show starts with the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, I expect Seth to win, and I expect him to cash in at the end of the night when Cody and because Cody and Jay win, and then Cena and Logan they get mad and they beat people up after the match, and then the faction comes out and beats everybody down, and then Seth comes out and cashes it in, which I hate. I also hate same night cash-ins. Hate them. Like it is a trope that has been beaten to death by the WWE.
I feel like a 4-match card kind of lends that to be a
Sure
pretty strong
does.
option.
Sure does.
There's still SmackDown. We don't know what's going to happen.
Okay, that's fair.
But
we'll throw a tag team match on there then.
For sure. It is kind of interesting though that if Jey Uso makes it past Money in the Bank, he has Gunther on Monday for the title.
Yeet.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah. I think that match is non-title, and the winner gets Seth at SummerSlam.
Isn't there another show? But
there's
a Saudi show. I thought.
Show.
Okay, I mean you could do it there, or you could put it on SummerSlam. Yeah, you can do a different title. Cena will do it.
If it's Clash of Champions, it'll be champion versus champion. So it'll be Seth versus Cena in Saudi.
Okay, so yeah,
and then it would be EO and Tiffy.
It's Tiffy time.
Yeah, what is the is it there's a Saudi? Oh yeah, it is Night of Champions. So yeah.
Yep. So Gunther would not be challenging Seth there because they're doing the Champion of Champions deal. Big stupid belt.
That's right. Yep. So it'll be Cena Seth is a bigger headline than Cena versus Jey Uso. So yep.
They are doing the John Cena wrestles all of his rivals.
Hate this.
Yep.
It's Seth.
Oh right. We can get that You Can't See Me shirt back on the site. I'll get you one. You can now buy the Let's Go Cena Sucks shirt is back up on the
there you
shop
go.
site as well. Just running back all of them. Yeah, I hate same night cash-ins, but we'll probably get one. So give me a longer one with the women's then, please. And thank you. Devin picks LA Knights.
Yeah.
To the men's Money in the Bank. Devin does not want to see Solo win. I don't think anybody does. I'd venture.
I would if I didn't think there was a chance he would cash in on the United States title.
Oh God, yeah, he would.
That's true.
Yeah, we don't need any of that again.
Hey, let's do a blind ranking real quick. I still got 100 of them.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Yeah, well, I'll hit the music while the music.
I've got 3 here. 1, 2, or 3. Somebody has to pick which one I'm going to do. 3. Oh, okay. These are America the Beautiful singers from WrestleMania.
Oh, okay.
Blind rank. Starting with WrestleMania 10. Little Richard sang America the Beautiful. Little Richard's version.
Lip synced 4.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, 4 sounds good to me.
WrestleMania 15 from Philadelphia. Local Boys, Boys to Men.
2.
That was my first thought too.
That was a good one. It's a pretty good one. Boys to Men. WrestleMania 7. Willie Nelson sang America the Beautiful.
Not as bad as Little Richard. Not better than Boys to Men. Give me a 3.
Yes.
We're sliding him at number 3. So you guys took the coward's way of 1 and 5. We have WrestleMania 37. BB Rexa sang America the Beautiful.
1.
I was thinking 5. There's got to be better out there. She wasn't worse than.
I'm ready for the worst. I want the worst.
Fine, that's fine. Give me
Rockin' Robin coming up.
She was fantastic, by the way. Mark was absolutely right to put her at 1. However, it's hard to argue the singer of America the Beautiful at WrestleMania 2. Ray Charles is your number 1 America the Beautiful singer.
Dude, we got it right.
We did it.
Yes.
BB could have been a little higher.
BB
but
probably belongs 2 on the list. Her rendition was fantastic, but your list goes Ray Charles, Boyz II Men, Willie Nelson, Lil Richard, and then poor BB Rexa bringing up the rear.
Put BB Rexa up above Willie. Knock them.
No, our list is perfect.
No. Smokey
Who
doesn't
the F
want,
is BB Rexa?
Smokey would bring up BB Rex's rear anytime.
Thank you, buddy. We appreciate everybody tuning in. We went longer than normal tonight, but thank you all for tuning in. Follow us on all of our social media. We're at 3 Count Thursday across the board. Follow us there. Like, subscribe, share, do everything you can do. Would certainly appreciate the support. Leave us a voicemail, 717-473-7833. You can also get our merchandise over on our TeePublic store. Until next time, stay safe, stay smart, and as always, go for the pin.